Welcome back, students. In this video, we're going to cover the Station 6 from the Geometry EOC Bootcamp. This is angle and triangle theorems. Excuse me. So, let's get into a couple of things here. So, Theorem 5.1 is our triangle angle sum theorem. The sum of the angles of the sum of the measures of the interior angles of a triangle is 180. So in this case, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3, or ABC, excuse me. Sorry, my bad. Trying to answer email, do videos. Just a multitasker here. But A, B, and C all equal 180. I mean, bottom line, triangle is 180 degrees all day, every day, forever and ever, amen. Theorem 5.2 is the exterior angle theorem. So it tells us that like angle 4 here is an exterior angle, and it's going to equal 1 plus 3. So it's the two remote interior angles. So not the guy that touches him, not the adjacent angle. So not adjacent, remote interior. So these guys, 1 plus 3. Okay, Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. They have to be equal for it to be a right triangle. The converse of the Pythagorean theorem is that if a squared plus b squared equals c squared with this triangle, then it's a right triangle. Worded like this: if the sum of the squares of the lengths of the shortest sides of the triangle is equal to the square of the length of the longest side of the hypotenuse, then the triangle is a right triangle. But I guess you don't know it's a hypotenuse till you know it's a right triangle. Okay, let's go down. Theorem 9-3. 9.3, it's if the square of the length of the longest side of the triangle is less than the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides, then the triangle is an acute triangle. So if a squared and b squared are greater than c squared, then it's an acute triangle. And then Theorem 9.4 says that if c squared, so if your hypotenuse is, if the square of your hypotenuse is greater than these two, a squared plus b squared, then it's obtuse. So if c is greater, then it's obtuse, but if c is less, then it's acute. All right, let's flip over. Try to make this a little quicker. It's getting late. All right, so number 1. Find the values of y and z in the figure. My folks hopefully have listened to me long enough to know that you can't find more than one variable at a time. So there's always, I told you guys, there's a lot of puzzles. This is one of those. So we know from the exterior triangle theorem that this guy would be equal to the two remotes, and that would be y's and y's, but we don't have anything here. And we know that 135 is going to be equal to these two. Those are the remote interior angles. But that's a y and a z. So what do we do? No! This would be a good time for voices, but I gotta move. So I'm gonna highlight this. So right here. Sorry, I don't know who that was supposed to be, Miss Piggy, but it's just not gonna work. The kids are asleep and I'd be too loud. But I'm highlighting this because this is a linear pair. So what is a linear pair? It is two angles that are created off one straight line. And what does a straight line equal? A straight line equals 180. So those two together equal 180. So over to the side, we're going to say 180 minus 135. And we're going to see that the answer is 45. So we know now this angle is 45 degrees. I'm just doing that because of the highlighter's still wet. So now we know. So we can solve for y because this angle equals the two remote interior. So we can say that 45 plus 5y plus 5 is going to equal 9y minus 2. So we'll solve for y that way. Then we can plug it in and we'll know these two. We put z, this angle, equal to whatever these two guys minus 180 is. You'll see. I know. Excuse me. I know I'm just talking a bunch of stuff. So anyway. So this guy, 9y minus 2, equals these two guys. So 5y plus 5 plus 45. So we're going to combine these two. So it's going to be 5y plus 50, because 45 plus 5 is 50. We got 9y over here. And we could have just moved it over, but it didn't matter. So 5y from both sides, because it's the smaller of the two coefficient. Coefficient is the number beside the x or the y, or the letter. Actually, we got more room. This is actually for down here, sorry. All right, so these cancel. I'm going to just move it up here. All right, so 9y minus 5y is 4y. Minus 2, and it's equal to 50, because these guys cancel. All right, so negative 2 means we're going to add 2 to both sides. These cancel. 4y is going to equal 50 minus 2, which is 48. Divide both sides by 4, and y is going to equal 12. So let's do this. This is 45. I'm going to write this above. So 5y, or 5 times 12, plus 5. See, y equals 12, so we plugged it in there. So 5 times 12 is 60, plus 5 makes this guy 65. All right, so triangle equals 180, right? This is 65, and this is 45, so this guy is going to be 180 minus those two. So minus, let's just do it this way. Save space and try to save a little bit of time. So you see that we have two angles, 65 plus 45. See, they equal 110. So we're subtracting 110, and I know that equals 70. So this guy is going to equal 70. So number 2, this is down here. So we're going to go over here. So 4z, so that plus 9, equals 70. Because that's how much was left after we subtracted those two. So we're going to subtract 9, subtract 9. We're going to move over here to this side. Sorry. So 4z equals 61. Because 70 minus 9, 61, then we divide it by 4, and we get 15.25. Okay. All right. So z equals 15.25. And there was y. So let's just see. So this times 4 plus 9. So that's 70. Plus 65, that was that angle, plus 45, and you notice 31, 35, so we know what's going to happen here. Boom, 180. There's our triangle. So we are correct. All right, number 2. We've got a ladder placed against the wall, such as the top hits 8 feet, so it's 8 feet to up here. The ladder's 10 feet tall. They want to know how far it is here. So this is just Pythagorean theorem, where we have the hypotenuse because it's directly across from that. So it's going to be 10 squared minus 8 squared, and that's going to equal our, I'm just going to put question mark squared. Something I was going to mention, but I can't remember. All right, so 10 squared is 100, 8 squared is 64. That's going to make our question mark squared is 36. So 36, take the square root. It is, so, so it's 6 feet. Whoops. This thing is hard to write on. There you go, 6 feet. Find the value of x. So this is our hypotenuse, or our c squared, or c. We're going to square it in a second, but so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So x squared plus, so the square root of 2, so watch this, 2 square root, and we're going to square that. So square root of 2 times the square root of 2, or the square root of 2 squared is 2. And then over here, this is x plus 1 squared. So I'm going to do this over here. X plus 1 squared is the same as x plus 1 times x plus 1. So we have to FOIL this first, outer, inner, last. Hopefully you guys remember this. So x times x is x squared. X times 1 is x. X times 1 is x. X plus x is 2x, because it would have been plus x plus x. So we're just, and then 1 times 1 is 1. So this is over here now. Hopefully you understand this got us here because we are squaring everything. So x plus 1 squared is the same as this, and that's how we got that. All right, so we have one of these on each side. So if we subtract from both sides, let me just do it this way. So minus x squared, boom, boom. So we have 2x plus 1 left over here, and then 2 over here. Subtract 1, we have 1 left over here, 2x left over here, because these canceled. Divide both sides by 2, and x is going to equal 1/2. If you plug that in, let me show you. All right, so 1/2. I know some of you folks know the little, and I'm going to try to do it. So 1, 2, half. Look at that. I finally figured it out. Thanks to Siriana. Don't know if you're listening or if you'll watch, but maybe you will. So 1/2 squared plus 2 square root squared 2 equals 2.25. So x was 1/2. No, wait a minute. What did we do wrong here? Hold on. This worked earlier. What did I do wrong? X equals 1/2. So well, hold on. 0.5. What did it do on the earlier? Did that mess me up? Yeah, no, 0.25, that's right. Oh, plus 2. So that's that squared, and then we take the square root, 1.5, and then, so if x is 1/2 plus 1. Sorry, I was like, man, this worked earlier, dang it. Okay, sorry. All right, number 4, and then we flip over, we got number 5, so try to hurry here. We'll say, so we don't have a origin. I kind of go in the middle, and then I'll do this. Not perfect, you know me, guys. All right. All right, determine whether points A, 2, 2, so positive 2, 1, 2, up 2, that's A. B is 5 sevens, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then C is 10, and it's going to go all the way. This is technically half, but it's okay. We're going to go 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or did I actually count right this time? I don't think so. I think I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so that's not quite right, but it'll work for us. And then we'll just normally I would use my straight edge. Okay. So it asks us if this is a acute, a right, or an obtuse triangle. And you guys are going to look at it and be like, well, it looks like it's obtuse. Well, yeah, maybe so, but we can't make assumptions. So what we're going to do is we use the distance formula. And if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, this would be our a, this would be our b, and this would be our c. Because it could be the hypotenuse if it's a right triangle, but if it's not, then it's not. So distance. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared, y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared, and even if you can't see it, I mean, it's on the reference sheet. So we're going to start with AB. That would be our A of the, so A over here. So this is my, I'm not going to write this on here, but these are going to be my 1s, these are my 2s, and then when I go BC, these are my 1s, these are my 2s, and then when I go AC, these are my 1s and these are my 2s. But just bear with me. All right, so the x's are 5 minus 2. Whoops, 5 minus 2 squared, and then the y's are 7 minus 2. All right, so 5 minus 2 is 3, and 7 minus 2 is 5. Three squared is 9, and 5 squared is 25. Add those together, we have the square root of 34. That's AB. Okay. I'm going to go BC. This would be our B. All right, so 10 minus 5. And we're going to skip some steps so we can save some room here. And then 6 minus 7. All right, so 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 squared is 25. Negative 6 minus 7 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So we're going to end up with a square root of 26 here. You just see I squared it. So it was 5 squared, 1 squared. So hopefully. All right, and then what would be our hypotenuse, or c squared either way, is 10 minus 2. And then 6 minus 2. All right, so we'll go ahead. So 10 minus 2 is 8. And this 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 squared is 64. 4 squared is 16. Add those together, you got the square root of 80. 1 second. All right, so remember, the square root of any number is that number. Like, the square root of a number squared is that number. So hopefully you guys understand. The square root of any number is that number. Just like this. So just show you. So 87. So 87. The square root of 87 is this number, and if we square that number, you get 87. So hopefully you understand. So here, 34 plus 26. So that is that's 10. That's 60. And then you got 80 over here. Well, 80 is greater than 60. So that means the c squared is greater than a squared plus b squared. So this guy is obtuse. And for all those that say you told me so, no, you didn't tell me nothing. All right, flip it over. Number 5. We'll finish this off. I will do the last 4 videos tomorrow. All right, it's just been crazy. So flipping it over. All right, so we're going to try to draw this. Go in. I feel like I got the middle, and then it's not quite, but it'll work. It'll work. Okay. All right, so J is at 1, 2, 6. K is at 3, 2. And then L is 5, so 3, 4, 5, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we. All right, so it's asking if it's an acute, right, or an obtuse. I'm not even going to make any statements. We're just going to go right into it. So we have JK. This is your A. This would be, yeah, this would be your B, and this would be your C. So JK, start off with. So again, 1s, 2s, 1s, 2s, 1s, 2s as I do this. So 3 minus 1, minus 1 squared plus 2 minus 6. All right, so you got 2 and you got negative 4, both of them squared. So that's 4 plus 16, and that is the square root of 20 for JK, which is your A. So A squared is 20 plus, so B squared, well, we're going to put equals, but we don't know yet. So actually we'll put it up here and wait and see. Okay. Okay, JK or LKL, that's your B. Draw a line here. So KL, you got 5 minus 3. And then you got 3 minus 2. Okay, 5 minus 3 is 2. And then 3 minus 2 is 1. So you got 2 squared, which is 4, 1 squared, which is 1. So you got the square root of 5. So your B squared would be 5. All right, let's see if, so now, so this is your C. So if this guy is the square root of 25, 20 plus 5, then it's a right triangle. If it's more than 25, then it's obtuse, and if it's less than 25, it's acute. Just want to say that again before we look at this and let you guys, that be the mindset. So, so JL. So you got 5 minus 1. And then you got 3 minus 6. So you got 4 squared plus negative 3 squared. 4 squared is 16. Negative 3 squared is 9. 16 plus 9 is, drum roll please, 25. So A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So this is a right triangle. All right, that is it for station 6, I think. I'm so lost. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time, have a good night. And while I'm thinking about it, for you guys that have been watching all year, thanks. I do have a yearbook I bought. This is, I've told most of you, this is my last year at First Coast. I will be moving on to another school next year, and I will miss you guys. So please come by and, before or after school, please don't get yourselves or me in trouble, but come by and sign my yearbook. Or maybe I'll venture out during lunches. I'll figure out something. Anyway, have a good night.